Okay, I'm with Steve Stevens for all the viewers in YouTube and all the world. Steve, how are you doing, man?
I'm great. I'm great. Really very busy right now. You know, we have a new Billy Idol record just came out.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard it was awful, the album. It's really?
Yeah.
No, I have it. Yeah, I saw you playing in Miva.
Right, yeah. So we leave for Europe Saturday.
Really?
5 days, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So we do Europe first, and then come back, do the States, and then we're going to go to Australia. So it's nice to get out and play for people for a while.
What about Latin America? Why
Eventually, they're already starting to talk about that.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, but it won't be until later part of next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was the process of production of the new album?
It's great. I mean, we got to work with Trevor Horn, who's a producer I've always wanted to work with.
And Jeff Jones, you have both.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, Trevor, we went over to England for a couple of weeks and worked in his studio, which originally was Island Records Studio, which was where all the Bob Marley records, Stairway to Heaven was recorded. It's like all these historic records were done there. So, and I think they're getting ready to close it. We were one of the last artists to be there. So it's like this sense of history, like wow, it's very cool.
How is playing with Billy? You are the only one that lasted all his solo career.
Yeah.
How is he? How is playing with him?
Well, obviously, coming up on 32, 33 years. What you realize is that the songs really take on a bigger significance than just, hey, remember we wrote this, or that, your audience now is, 2 generations of people, and I have a lot of like dads bringing their kids, to see me and, saying, hey, this is the guy that I grew up with, and, bring their first guitar and stuff. And a lot of these songs are very emotional for people, so you play them, and and I think for the audience, it means something for them that they see the 2 guys still up there, still having fun. I know a lot of bands get together and, one guy's in a dressing room down the hallway and the other guy, and they travel separately. But we travel together. We're friends. We hang out, and somehow, it just works. We respect each other musically and as friends. So. I'm very fortunate in that respect, yeah.
In a few words, if you have to describe Billy, what words you will use?
He's an absolute genius. No, he's the best frontman I've ever worked with. He's the most charismatic, and he knows more about American rock and roll than Americans, which is crazy. When I first met him, it was all about Creedence and the Doors and Chuck Berry and B.B. King and Bo Diddley, and the guy grew up with American rock and roll and he's still excited about it. So, he's I can't say enough good stuff about him. I really, and now with a little bit of history behind us, it's we're older and wiser, and we really enjoy what we do now. Whereas when we were kids, you're so in the moment, and so we really value it, and we really kind of go, it's great,
I have one question. Who started with that look, Nikki Sixx or you?
Well, it was, you got to say, originally it was, come on, Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck.
Right, okay. Jeff Beck, Ronnie Wood, Keith Richards. I had this look in 1979. I don't know what Nikki was doing. I think we both just love the classic rock, bit glam kind of look. So
it's awesome.
So I've always had this look. So that's it.
It is possible that I saw you in a picture with Generation X.
No, I was never.
No, because there's a guy that looked like you. I mean, it was a picture that was. This is Steve Stevens, but it's impossible.
No. I met Billy in 1982, beginning of 1982. He had just moved to America.
And what did you play? There's one of the albums that you were involved. You were not involved. One of them. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, well,
1982, I think.
No, in end of 1988, we took a break from each other, and he went.
What happened then?
I wanted to stay in New York. I had just gotten my first apartment in New York. Billy moved to Los Angeles, so I wasn't ready to make that move. And I was signed to Warner Brothers Records to a solo deal, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do this and do this properly, then I've got to devote 100% of my energy to it. it. So, but you know, we split and we just kind of said, you know, I'll see you down the road a little bit. You know?
When you did the flamenco album, right? Or it was later?
That was a little later. I did Atomic Playboys for Warner Brothers.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, I did a Vince Neil record.
It's not that I don't know; it's I don't remember.
Me too.
I know about your job.
It's amazing that I can even remember, man. Yeah, I know.
Okay, there's anything else you want to say to your fans in Latin America, Spain?
Yeah, I mean, I hope to see you guys in 2015, and you know, thanks for supporting our music.
Yeah, and you're fun here because I have more viewers from here than Latin America.
Yeah, right.
This is for Latin America mostly, and Spain.
Right. Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you,
right.
Steve.
All right,
okay?
my pleasure. Yeah.